Hello and welcome back to Football Daily. Today we are looking at 10 summer transfers who could very well struggle this season. Number 10. Ayoze Perez. In reflection, Leicester will be quite content with their summer transfer window, securing the signings of Dennis Pratt and Yuri Tillemans and heavily cashing in on Harry Maguire for 85 million. A huge loss to Leicester, but a hefty earning that has allowed the club to spend big this window, splashing out 30 million on Spanish striker Ayoze Perez. The 26-year-old had a strong season at Tyneside, where he scored 13, the most in the team, and his best tally in a Newcastle shirt. He ended the campaign particularly strong, scoring 11 of those goals in 2019. Impressive no doubt, but we can't help but think the Foxes have signed Perez on a bit of a whim. The Spaniard has often failed to show consistency, which could very well tarnish his time at Leicester. His versatility sees him played out wide or as a second striker, but his goal and assist output in the Premier League is lacking, with just 33 goals and 8 assists in 144 games. In comparison, Jamie Vardy has 76 goals and 19 assists in the same amount of appearances since 15-16. It's hard to see exactly how Perez will fit into this Leicester side. A disappointing debut against Wolves where he looked sloppy and nervous out on the right wing. The ex-Tenerife man does have glimpses of quality, but not enough to fill the boots of the still sorely missed Riyad Mahrez. Before we move on, if you're enjoying this video, please remember to subscribe to the channel for more great content. Number 9. Diego Godin. Now, we don't blame Diego Godin for his move to Inter Milan. He's 33 years old, played in Madrid for 9 years, and given his all for the badge. He deserves a final payday. Instead, we blame the Inter board who gave the go-ahead on signing the defender. For nearly 100k a week, Godin was supposedly brought in to add experience to the squad, a squad with an average age of 30. And whilst we expect him to sit in the back three of Skriniar and De Vrij, the Uruguayan will be taking minutes away from 20-year-old prospect Bastoni. Godin has always had very strong numbers, but they have been falling over recent years. In 2017, he was making 4.1 tackles and interceptions, whereas last season it dropped to 2.9. And he's getting clumsier, committing a foul 0.4 times per 90 in 17-18 compared to 1.6 last season. Due to his historic status and the manager he's playing under, Godin will most likely do okay. However, he's not going to be anything like his Madrid past. Number 8. Costas Manolos. Now 33 years old, it was inevitable that time would catch up with Raul Albiol, going from playing 36 in 15-16 to just 19 last season. But his replacement, Costas Manolos, isn't quite the man we think to complement Koulibaly. This feels like a short-term fix. Manolos is already 28, the same as his Senegalese partner, and come 2 seasons, Napoli may already be looking for his replacement. There are also questions as to whether he will fit into the team's system. Their defenders have to be able to play out from the back. Albiol averaged 69 passes per 90 in 18-19. Manolos managed 38, just over half of what Albiol was producing, with the Spaniard also having a higher completion rate. The Greek international will also have to step up his long ball distribution, currently completing 2.7 per 90 in Serie A, nowhere near Albiol's 6.6. A lot will be expected from the defender who has never really played in such a demanding system. Plus, add to the fact he's also become injury-prone, suffering 9 separate injuries last year, and 32 million seems like a bit of a waste. Number 7. Andre Gomes. When it was confirmed that Andre Gomes would sign permanently to Everton for 22.5 million, it was considered as a good deal. Gomes had impressed last season. He was averaging the second most passes in his team, completing 3.2 long balls, 1.5 dribbles, the most in the squad. However, the 26-year-old was partnered with Idrissa Gueye, arguably Everton's star player last year, who was sold this summer to PSG for £27 million. The Senegalese midfielder did a lot of the dirty work in the centre of the park, often making up for the lack of his Portuguese partner. Whilst Gomes made 2 tackles and interceptions per 90, Gueye was making 6.5. Now these are very high numbers, but it allowed Gomes to focus more on progression. For 2019-20, this won't be the case, as the former Barcelona employee will have to do some tough work as well. Add to this the fact that Gomes has picked up yet another injury, his 11th in an 8-year career, and this transfer showing all the signs that Everton may have pulled the trigger without thinking. Number 6. Ismaila Sarr. Watford's record signing Ismaila Sarr faces a tough task at Vicarage Road. The Senegalese winger joins the Hornets from Rennes for 27 million. This tops the 18 million paid for Andre Gray in 2017. Sarr is just 21 years old and has showed bags of potential in Ligue 1. Last term, he scored 8 goals and assisted 7 in 25 appearances. Since 2016-17, he's won the most amount of penalties in the league with 9 and completed 399 dribbles, the 4th best. He's also been fouled 217 times in that period, the 2nd highest in the top tier of France. Sarr began his footballing career with Generation Foot, the same side that Sadio Mane started out at. So similar backgrounds, but somewhat apart in terms of quality. Sarr's dribbling ability and speed are lethal in Ligue 1, but we can't see that translating as well to the Premier League. Numerous times we have seen skillful wingers succeed in France, only to fail in England. The likes of Clinton Ng, Florian Thauvin and George Kevin Nkudu all moved to the Premier League at young ages following strong seasons in Ligue 1, but struggled to adapt to the intensity of English football, all failing to find the net. That's not to say Sarr will follow their paths, but with the added pressure of being Watford's record signing, we predict he'll find it tough playing at a higher level. Number 5. Tiago Mendes. Lyon said farewell to some star players this summer, with Mendy, Fekir and Ndombele departing. The latter's £54 million move to Spurs is a record sale for Lyon, and was used to fund the signing of his replacement, Tiago Mendes. The Brazilian joined for £22 million following a solid couple of seasons at Lille. His performances last campaign were particularly good. He made 35 appearances in Ligue 1 and was pivotal in the heart of Lille's midfield. He is strong in recovering the ball and helps build attacks for his side. He made 2.4 tackles and 1.9 interceptions per 90 last term. He can also open up defences with 1.8 key passes per 90. That actually tops Ndombele's 1.4 a game. Though plenty of positives there, we think Mendes will struggle to fill the boots of his predecessor. The Frenchman possesses greater technical ability and can beat his man with 1.9 dribbles per 90, much stronger than Mendes' 0.9 per game. The Spurs man also contributes more to the team going forward with 10 goal involvements last season, while the South American managed just 4. The 27-year-old has started well in Lyon, assisting 2 in his debut against Monaco, but with the inevitable Ndombele comparisons, we can't help but see him branded as an eventual flop. 4. Che Adams. After 22 goals in 46 appearances for Birmingham, Adams won City's Young Player of the Season and got featured in the Championship's Best 11, ahead of Tammy Abraham. A closer look at his stats, however, suggests Adams might struggle at new club Southampton. In 2 seasons at St Andrews, he averaged 0.35 expected goals and 2.7 shots per 90. His 22 goals outperformed an expected tally of 17, meaning he might have rode his luck last year. When we compare those numbers to Saints' forwards Charlie Austin and Danny Ings, it's fair to say he might have been overhyped. Their expected goals and shots per 90 both perform higher than Adams. Austin averaged 0.55 xG and 3.5 shots, whilst Ings wasn't far behind on 0.5 xG and 3 shots per 90. Though both are said to be clinical finishers, it's fair to say neither got huge goal hauls, with a combined total of 9 goals last season. If Adams is already performing worse than the Saints' 2 most recognised strikers, and he's got a lot of work to do. The Southampton boss won't take much encouragement from his first game against Burnley, in which he managed 0 shots on target, 0 dribbles and 0 key passes. By this assessment, we think Adams will struggle to adapt to life in the fast lane of the Premier League. Number 3. Quincy Promes. Between 2013 and 2018, Quincy Promes averaged 14 goals a season. In 4 years at Spartak Moscow, he scored 59 goals and assisted 23 in 115 games. That's a goal involvement every 124 minutes. It may seem surprising then that a player with these stats features on our flop list. However, Promes' best days might be behind him. After lighting up the Russian league, he moved to Seville in 2018. He failed to make an impression, playing only 1,571 minutes and managed just 2 goals and 3 assists. This year he comes to Ajax looking to redeem himself, at the club he played youth football for before being released. He's joined a side who will take time to rediscover their identity after losing key players Matthijs de Ligt and Frankie de Jong, following a season where they won the league and reached the Champions League semi-finals. Though Promes shows ample speed and averages 1.7 successful dribbles per 90 when he does play, that pales in comparison to Tadic's 3.3. Furthermore, he'll have his work cut out to start ahead of Ziyech, who averaged an impressive 0.6 goals per 90, and David Neres, who averaged 0.4 goals per 90 at Ajax last season. With Promes averaging 0.1 last season, there's a danger he could find himself on the bench if he doesn't hit the ground running. Number 2. Joe Linton. The feud between Newcastle fans and owner Mike Ashley has been raging for years. This season, Ashley's responded by splurging $40 million on Joe Linton, which is the first time the club have ever spent over $25 million on the player. At 23, he's inexperienced and has only played 1 full season at Hoffenheim, scoring only 7 goals and getting 5 assists in 25 games. We can hardly say he's proven himself. Also, with an expected goals of 0.36, his tally should have been 10, indicating he's partial to missing a couple of big chances. Also, in the context of this Hoffenheim side being the Bundesliga's 3rd highest scoring team, Joe Linton's 7 seems a little light. The record-breaking fee looks to be a bit of a gamble. Joe Linton will also face added pressure by being constantly compared to the outgoing Solomon Rondon. Rondon managed 11 goals last season playing as a target man. Joe Linton, though, prefers picking up the ball in between the lines with his back to goal. Newcastle will have to therefore adapt their own style to make the most of Joe Linton's more technical abilities. It looks like Newcastle are again going to be in danger of relegation this season. At a club going through a difficult, tumultuous transitional period, it all might be too much for the young Brazilian. Number 1. Luuk de Jong. Luuk de Jong is a prime example of why players in the Eredivisie can be so hit and miss. After having made his name with Twente, scoring 25 goals and assisting 9 in 2012, de Jong switched to the Bundesliga and Premier League, where he found the net just 8 times in 57 appearances. Now the Netherlands international has moved to Seville after a successful 4 years at PSV, where he contributed to 36 goals in 34 appearances in 18-19. Having moved for €12 million, a lot of pressure is on de Jong's shoulders. The 28-year-old's underlying numbers are also concerning. Whilst he is taking 4.5 shots per 90, 2.3 are with his head, which aren't considered quality chances, leaving 0.9 of his shots coming from inside the box. That's grim reading. Creatively, he's okay, making 1.5 key passes per 90, and his 1.7 tackles and interceptions is good for an attacker. However, Seville will have to be hoping they can complete more than 4 crosses per 90 this season to have any chance of replicating de Jong's numbers. And that's it. If you enjoyed this video, please like and comment below, and subscribe to the channel for more great content. Bye for now.